All right, welcome back. We are now going to be covering this second drop down here, which consists of work sessions. So here you'll see a list of previous work sessions. We'll get into that after I show you actually how to start a work session. A bunch of buttons over here. Your session stats. So very similar to task stats. You can see basically distractions, hours worked, weekly, monthly timelines, personal bests, a list of time by distraction. So if you're familiar with the Screen Time app, very similar to that, but a lot more detailed in terms of stats. So these are your own personal stats. Your calendar, very similar to the task calendar to basically sort for different work sessions. And then on the right hand side here, this is very important. These are your distraction settings. So it'll actually set you off here with a session type, as we call it, effectively a preset for your distraction. So you'll see I have a few here. It's pretty intuitive. Again, you can typically hover over buttons if you're not sure what they do. And it'll tell you. This will also be mostly covered in onboarding. So you'll see I have a list here in each preset of distractions, be it websites or apps. So for entertainment, see we have a bunch turned on and off here. When they're on, they're red, meaning that they are being tracked and you will get flagged. You can also search by apps. You could also do a quiz when you're creating a session type over here. And it'll basically automatically infer what distractions you might have based on the answers to that quiz. So we're just going to stick with the ones we have. I'll bring your attention down here to the background distractions. If this is on, it means that the window underneath your current window that you're working on, if open, will still get flagged by Echo. And idle time, pretty intuitive. Basically, how long do you take your hands off of your mouse, your keypad, your computer? That'll also track after a period of time that you set. So now that we have that preset done and out of the way, we can go down here to start a work session, hit this button, and you'll see that the panel basically changes here now. So it lets you pick either task specific to a particular project or all your tasks, select tasks, basically whatever you want from here. Down here in this panel, you'll see you can toggle between solo and shared. We'll cover shared in a bit in another video, actually. This is effectively with your circle of friends. But in the solo session, which we are basically focusing on now, you'll see that you can change that preset that we discussed earlier. So I have a couple here. We're going to just choose work for now. And from there, you can start your work session. So once you're in your work session, you can see this little pop-up shows, and then it reduces down to this little pill that basically sits on your computer. It shows you the timer and the frontmost app. So for example here, if I just pop up Spotify, this is the distraction we set. If you remember, you'll see it logs it. First it gives me the warning, and then as soon as it goes red, that's now been flagged as a distraction. And even if I, let's say, pop up Chrome over top of it, so in this case, you see it now says background distraction. So it's still tracking, and it's not enough for me to open a tab. I have to actually go and quit Spotify. And once I've quit Spotify, you'll see that this warning now reduces back down. It shows Chrome as the frontmost app, and it's all good. So from there, very simple, very intuitive. You get notifications as well. It's something that's just designed to live on your screen, nothing more. If you hover over it, you can see the current task that you're working on, which is sorted over here in this list. If you hit this little Q button, you can also organize your tasks however you want, move them up and down, basically based on priority. So from there, you'll have a little percentage bubble here, basically percentage of tasks complete, the amount of time left as per estimated task. So you'll see when I check a task, this percentage bar changes and the amount of time changes as well. On the left hand side here, you have a little time icon. This allows you to toggle idle tracking on and off in a work session, so that if I have to step away from my computer for whatever reason, I can toggle this off and do so. But this does get flagged, so you will see it on your timeline later. Pausing, again, lets you pause a session for whatever amount of time. So this is a legitimate way to step away from your computer without losing any of the realistic sense of the stats. And then, of course, we can choose to stop the work session after we've completed whatever tasks. Once a work session is stopped, you get this automatic panel pop back up, and you'll see a bunch of stats here. So the amount of tasks completed, distractions, idle, milestones, etc. Milestones are effectively the notifications you guys saw. From there, you have more details, and then the key component of the session summary is this timeline, effectively showing you how efficient you've been, when you completed your task, when you switched to your distractions, and all that good stuff. Once we've clicked done, we can of course rename this session if we choose to. I'm just going to leave it as work session. We're going to hit done, and it'll pop up in your work sessions list. So you can always refer back to these timelines, these stats. You can see previous ones here. And I covered in the initial video this summary box here. You see you have a streak. So your streak applies if you've completed a session over 15 minutes long. This flame icon highlights, and so you can continue basically stacking that streak, comparing against your friends, all that good stuff. So in short, that's work sessions. That's the full work session cycle together with session summary. In the next video, we are going to cover basically how we can go from doing solo work sessions to different variations of shared work sessions and interacting with your circle of friends.